Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. This is, of course, a very, very well-known film. And if you have not heard about it before, this was his second film in his overall Dark Knight trilogy. The first one, Batman Begins, I personally really loved it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I didn't think it was like anything like totally spectacular, like groundbreaking, but I did really love it. That film mainly focused more on, you know, Batman and Bruce Wayne becoming Batman and overcoming his fears and such like that. But what I really like about this film is it's a lot more about everyone else, and it's about the city, and it's about the things going on, and it's about, you know, the chief of police, and it's about the villains, one, of course, the main villain in particular, and then it's still about Batman, and it's still the character, you know, the relationships he has with everyone, and it's just super awesome. Another thing I love about this film is, you know, it's, you know, known as like the dark, you know, superhero movie kind of thing, and everyone's always saying like, oh, we should make more dark superhero movies like The Dark Knight kind of thing. And this movie was very dark, but what I really love about it is it's not slow at all. Things are constantly happening, and you're constantly engaged because you just have no idea what's going to happen next. And that is partly because of Heath Ledger's The Joker. I can't even describe how amazing he is in this film, and just his character as well. Of course, Heath Ledger is just absolutely amazing, but the character as well is just, he's so unpredictable. And once again, that has to do with partly because of his writing, all like the outrageous, you know, deeds and things that he's doing. You just never expect what he's gonna do. And then of course, also because of Heath Ledger's performance. It's just so good. One of my favorite parts in the film is the pencil trick when he's surrounded by a bunch of goons in kind of their lair kind of thing, and, you know, he says, I'm gonna make this pencil disappear, and then he stabs it through the guy's hand. So unexpected, and that's a great introduction to him as a character. You immediately know, like, oh shoot, okay, anything could happen at any point. Like, he really is that crazy, and he is so amazing throughout the film. The thing that is really good though is, or that shows how good he really is he's not in this film like that much. Like, he's not even in like half of the film, I feel like. You know, a lot of it is about like the police chief and the other characters, but the Joker really isn't in this movie that much. Like, of course, it could all be about, you know, Batman trying to catch the Joker, but it's not really like that. It's about it's about pretty much everyone in the rotation and the city as a whole. And that's really awesome. I really love that. All of these characters feel completely original and genuine. Another one of my favorite things is this is not a film that like someone who's not a big, you know, filmmaker kind of person would see and would enjoy. Like Vice, I personally love that film because of the filmmaking techniques, and everything was awesome, and, you know, it kept me engaged because I saw all the cool filmmaking things. There are probably tons of people, actually I know there are tons of people who would not like Vice at all because they just don't find the subject matter entertaining or anything like that. This film, of course, you know, darker. Of course, it's a superhero movie, but, you know, you would expect it to be slower and darker, but it's not. Once again, things are constantly happening, and action is always happening, but it doesn't feel like action is being, like, thrown in. It feels like it all has a purpose. As well as that, of course, everyone has flaws in this film. You know, there's no perfect characters. Batman, of course, is not perfect. You know, all of our characters along with Batman, you know, everyone on the police force and you know, lawyer and everyone like that also has their own flaws, which of course makes them more interesting and more realistic. The writing in this film is just great. I also thought the action was very real seeming as well. It never felt like any of it was fake. Of course, you know, like I mentioned, it's always constantly going, and it feels like it, you know, it feels like it all has meaning. And I think part of that also keeps you engaged is it's very, very real. Like I said before, it all feels like there's a bunch of meaning, like it has meaning to all the action and everything that's happening. It's not just like thrown in action just because, well, let's do some cool things. It actually has meaning, and it keeps you engaged, and part of that is because of how real seeming it actually feels. Like, you know, people are dying when all of this is happening, and it feels like at any moment, anyone in any situation, whether it's, you know, Batman or any of the chief of police or anyone could literally die at any moment. And it really keeps us engaged. The action is just so real seeming. Of course, Heath Ledger has a great performance. Everyone else also has really good performances. I don't think, you know, there's no one that I would highlight in particular that has a really bad performance. You know, again, partly because of them, partly because Christopher Nolan. I feel like, you know, having yourself showing up on a screen in a film, in a Christopher Nolan film, and it seeming like you're a bad actor, I feel like that's something that would be pretty hard to pull off. But all in all, Christopher Nolan just did an incredible job with this film. I understand why it's literally one of the top rated films on IMDb. Of course, I have yet to see all of them, but I absolutely love this film, and I feel like I could go sit down and watch this film 10 times in a row and be engaged the entirety of all of them. It's just absolutely great. All the characters' connections. I feel like after watching this already, if I went and watched it a second time, I still wouldn't even be expecting everything that's happening. I still wouldn't remember all of the twists and the crazy stuff the Joker does, and all, you know, the characters that just die and you're not expecting it. I really feel like I could watch this film many times over and over, and I'm sure I absolutely will. So, like I said before, Batman Begins got a 9 out of 10, and I love this one even more, so that means Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight gets a 10 out of 10 from me. I can't quite remember if I've given out any other 10 out of 10s on Cinema Talk yet. This might be my first one. And I'll be surprised if films that are coming out will get 10 out of 10s, but this is something that I really want to start doing, is, you know, going back and watching, you know, older really movies that are already out, that are really well known and really historically known as very great, just amazing films. I want to keep going back and doing more of this, so that, you know, of course I need to watch these movies anyway, because, you know, as a filmmaker, you know, watching movies and everyone else's techniques and seeing how people make things is, you know, one of the best forms of learning. So I'm going to try and keep this up, watching older, very well-known movies, and of course doing the new ones, keeping up to date with the movies that are coming out and everything like that. But that then bids the question, of course, are there any older movies that you want me to see? Whatever it is, maybe it's The Godfather, or maybe it's something more recent like Ant-Man. I don't know why Ant-Man popped into my head. But whatever it is, just go ahead and let me know in the comments. And, you know, in all likelihood, I'll probably eventually get to it. I just gotta make sure that I know, you know, the films that you guys want to see me do in particular. But now we are at the end, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not done so yet, make sure to subscribe. Also, like this video if you have not done so yet. Make sure to check out my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Those are all at @RealTrevorEvans. I'm going to be posting on all of these, you know, a crazy amount. My podcast is on this channel as well, but if you want to just listen to just the audio version, that is on Spotify as well as iTunes and Google Podcasts. Check it out on all of that. I'm going to write a blog, trevansrights.com. That is TREVANS rights.com. Make sure to check all of this out, and I will see you guys around. Peace.